Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 3. So Module 3 is the second module for your first major writing assignment, which is the illustration paragraph. In Module 2, you did a brainstorm and writing plan for this paragraph, and now you're going to turn that into a paragraph itself. So you're going to actually write out the final draft of the paragraph. So that's the major assignment in Module 3, and you can see it's kind of at the end of the module, so you'll spend the week writing out that paragraph. I do recommend doing some kind of outlining, which I'll show you in a minute, maybe a rough draft, and then make sure that you do some editing and proofreading and turn that in. This is the first major assignment that I'll use a rubric to grade, which means that I'm going through line by line, checking your grammar, checking the criteria of the assignment, that kind of thing, and using that to grade rather than just giving you points for if you met all of the criteria of the assignment, that kind of thing. So a couple of the other things here, we have another grammar quiz. So we're moving forward in the textbook with the various chapters on different kinds of grammar issues. And so I told you in the previous video that you'll get 1 or 2 of these per module. And then the other thing that we're doing is moving forward with our reading component of the class. So pre-composition is at developmental level. We have both reading and writing in the class, and so this is just building on those fundamental reading skills. So if you remember, in the first module you took a quiz over the information from our OER textbook, which is college level reading support, and then the next thing that you're going to do is start to apply some of that information to stuff that you're reading. So this first discussion, you're going to do 2 reader response discussion boards, and this one is specific to some reading strategies that you might be familiar with. There are 2 types of reading strategies, the SQ3R and the REAP strategy, and these are both in the Evergreen book, but I did take, I just copied and pasted them into Word documents, thinking that it might be a little bit easier. I'll do this a couple of times throughout the semester just so that you have something handy that you can save, and then, or print out or something that makes it a little bit easier to access rather than like going back and forth from the textbook. And so what you're going to do with this is, so this is just kind of a description of the strategy, and then what you're going to do is choose one of the 19 reading selections in the Evergreen textbook in order to apply one of these 2. You don't have to do both, just one or the other, and it's kind of up to you whether you prefer. They're both take about the same amount of time, whichever one appeals to you more, and then you're going to create your post with that. The main thing to remember is that no 2 students can have the same reading selection. So if somebody's already done your article, you have to pick a different one. You can, if you want, create a reply, with your name and the title of the piece that you want to use, and then post it. And then that's basically saving that particular work. And then you can go back in and edit it to add all of the information that you need. But then that way nobody can steal your article, and that gives you a chance to read through and really get a sense of what's going on in it. And then you don't do a bunch of work and then go to post it and somebody else has used your article. I also created a sample post for you using it's not one of the 19 reading selections, it's just a random article in the book as a student essay. And basically I show you what you can do with this is the SQ3R method, but basically your original post would include the author's name and the title, and then the page number you found it on. Tell us the method that you're using, and a couple of sentences kind of giving an overview of it, and then go through. You can just number the different steps, and then you can also, both strategies use an annotation step. And this step you can actually do within the textbook itself. So if you go into the textbook, when you log in to your Evergreen Access online, you should be able to use this highlighting and annotating tool, and you can actually add comments to the book itself. So let me go back in and show you. I can't remember what page number that was on. So we're in this reader response discussion board, right? And what I did was I took a screenshot of what I did with the highlighting and annotating. See if it'll pull up 267. So I was on page 267 of the book, and I don't know if it saved it or not. Oh, it did. So what I did was I just kind of went through as I was reading, and you can use this up here at the top. There's a way to add in, let's reader preferences. Here, add in highlights and notes. And so I used the highlighting tool, and then I could just go in and highlight something, and I can add a note. You can also do things like creating flashcards. So those of you who are maybe trying to study a little bit better before you take the quizzes, you can actually create your own flashcards to help help yourself study, essentially. And if you have words that you don't understand, you can look them up. You can also have it read it out loud for you if you're having trouble concentrating, specifically, especially since you're reading on a screen. You can have it read it out loud for you, but you can use the highlighting, and then you can leave yourself comments, and then you can actually take a screenshot of that and then upload it into the discussion board post, or into your into your discussion board post, and then that way we've got that as an image to see what you're working on. So that's an option. And then your response posts are just to add a couple of things to, so you're going to read what they read. And the readings, by the way, I was going to show you this, are down here. It's Unit 8, Reading Strategies and Selections. And then there's the reading strategies information, and then there's the reading selections. And it just kind of goes through all of the different options for you, and you can pick one that you think looks interesting. And then you read, so your response posts are to read your peer's article and then respond with a couple of things that they did not include. So it might be an unfamiliar word, it might be a different question, that kind of thing. Just make sure that your responses do not have information that other students included in other responses. So it needs to be all new information. And then the last thing that you're going to do, of course, is actually finish up that illustration paragraph. And so what I did for you, so you've got the assignment, which you're familiar with because you saw it in the previous module. This is what you did your brainstorm and writing plan over. And so you need to make sure that you are actually using that. You can't just kind of change your idea entirely unless you had issues with your brainstorm. The other thing that you can do is send your paragraph to the online writing lab. This is optional. We'll have an assignment later on where you have to do it for an assignment, but this one is optional, and basically you can just send it in. They need at least 2 business days to respond. So if it's due on a Friday, you need to make sure that you have it sent in on Wednesday. It does require you to get a draft done early. And then there's MLA guidelines for making sure you format it correctly, and then this is the actual spot where you turn in the assignment. So you're going to follow the paragraph assignment guidelines. You want to make sure that you're looking at feedback from the brainstorm and writing plan in the previous unit, and then make sure that you're following MLA style. And then this is the grading rubric that I use. So you can kind of read through the criteria, but making sure that your essay or your paragraph feels like it's within the excellence and proficient category. That means that you're going to get a good grade on it. And then I also included an example. This example comes from my example of the brainstorm and writing plan in the previous module. So this is my paragraph that I've written. It's about 10 sentences. This is about the length that I want. And then I also included a short outline. This would be something that I would do before I wrote an out, so that you can just kind of see what sort of pre-writing I would do. I like working from an outline. Not all students do. So that is an option. Just showing you an example of how you might do that if you want. It's not required, and you do not turn that in with the final draft, but it is something that you can look at. So that is the module. If you have any questions, make sure you send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.